Katsot nyt TV1000 Cinemaa, joka kuuluu Viasat kanavapakettiin.
Teurastaja on tehnyt rikoksen.
You are so damn beautiful.
Poliisi hakee hyvitystä.
You know, for the life of me, I'll never figure out why she married you.
He just likes my meat.
Pappi etsii kadonnutta uskoaan.
Hey, I just work here.
Käsi on vastaus heidän rukouksiinsa.
See? That man is a butcher.
Woody Allen, Sharon Stone, David Schwimmer ja Kiefer Sutherland. Ihmeiden tekijä. Ensi-ilta sunnuntaina TV1000. On muitakin elokuvia kuin Hollywoodissa tehtyjä kassamagneetteja. Tutustu asiaan tarkemmin. Toisesta näkökulmasta. Laajenna näkökantaasi. Ja antaudu elokuvien valtaan. Tutustu elokuvien maailmaan. World Cinema. Torstaisin 3 eri aikaan.
I can handle the system in there if someone else can break into this box.
After this, no more jobs. This is the last one I'm doing. I'm quitting.
How many times you told me that in 25 years? You gotta admit that this kid did a pretty good show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Robert De Niro, Marlon Brando, Ed Norton, and Angela Bassett star in The Score, directed by Frank Oz, who is known for directing comedies like Bowfinger and In and Out. Directing a contemporary crime thriller is new to Oz.
The hell's he doing directing these guys? I'd ask the same thing. You know, Frank Oz directing these guys? Whoa, there's a typo.
I run this operation down to the smallest detail. If I think for 1 second you're not living up to your end of it, or if you hold out on me in any way, I walk. Understood?
The project didn't have these guys on board when I was there. I've always been looking for a drama to do, and then this came upon incrementally. That Bob first said yes, which is a thrill, and then I met with Marlon, and I think because of Bob, Marlon said yes, and Edward said yes because of these guys, and Andrew said yes. So it was just, you know, one on top of the other. And then all of a sudden they found out I was directing.
All right, I just gotta punch in these codes. Just sit tight.
Both Norton and Bassett love a good suspense thriller.
I loved heist movies when I was growing up, you know, from like really old ones like the Lavender Hill Mob and Alec Guinness to like, you know, Heat or the classic modern heist movies.
Got it. Hang on one more beat.
They're like process films. They're the ones where a big part of the fun is just watching people do these arcane skills that, you know, just seem so sexy and impossible almost. Just the fact that they can do it, you know, is fun. And then if you can hang people out on that edge of tension of are they gonna pull this off or not? It's like kind of, I don't know why it's timelessly thrilling. I love those movies.
Can you get me the bypass codes?
You want to talk or you want to see what I got?
Got it.
I saw it. I was like tense. I was like, I cannot take anymore. I'm just as nervous as I can be. And it was like, and I know how it turns out. I know how it ends.
I will change my life. I will move here. I will love you.
I didn't expect that to that degree, and I was really excited by it. I mean, the story, I was really just transported. Truly, honestly so. Yeah.
Excuse me. Can you help me, please?
Last Norman?
Yes.
Working with amazing actors makes everyone's jobs easier. So after nailing the scene, were the cast high-fiving each other?
Okay, thank you. Okay. Thank you, Nick.
If I tried to high-five Bob, he'd go, yeah, oh, okay. You know, it's like not, he's not necessarily the most demonstrative person.
That doesn't work for me. I've done this down to the last detail. Don't Put me on the sideline when it's time to collect. Don't do it.
It's great. I mean, I know he had a, you know, felt good, and he'd never worked with Marlon either. Like, so, I think it was a kick. But we had a lot of laughs. You know, it wasn't like this high intensity like guy set. You know, it was like it was a good time.
But I will not move here if it means that one day I might have to talk to you some glass. I won't move here if it means spending my nights worrying.
Especially when they say, take one, we got it, moving on. You're like, whoa! I mean, you really high-five then, you know. And one, aren't we confident? Doesn't happen too often either.
Dangerous game you're playing here. Are we clear?
Yeah, we're clear. I'll take some respect from you for starters. How about that?
It's like playing a sport with a good athlete. You know, you sharpen up your game in a way to because they're giving you good stuff.
25 years I've never worked with a gun, and I'm not going to start now.
It's the opposite of what most people think. It relaxes you instead of makes you more nervous.
But when you knew you couldn't follow
I put it
through,
out there
when
because
you knew you
I
couldn't
am
make the
following
commitment.
through. This is my last one.
Yeah,
I
sure it
promise
is,
you.
Nikki.
I promise you, it is my last one.
Think quick.
It's smoother, you know, they're hitting the mark, and you're just sort of like fitting right in the groove of it, you know. And I was telling someone I don't flub nearly as much as you know when someone who's they're just right there.
Who's this?
Cousin.
Cousin. That's my cousin. We've all got family here, which is nice.
Norden directed Keeping the Faith a few years ago, so is acting a nice vacation from the responsibilities of directing?
It is nice to not have the, you know, the pressures of the schedule and the days and all that stuff on your head. So, you know, it's like, oh, we didn't make it the day today, we have to come back tomorrow, and that's gonna delay the whole schedule. Well, yeah, you know, I'll be in my trailer.
Do you think I'm stupid? Do you think I don't see what you and Max are doing?
Of course, you never stop working, and just because you've directed doesn't mean you stop. I mean, Bob's directed too, so is Marlon. Everybody puts in ideas.
This is a very big payoff for very acceptable risks. $30 million.
It's a collaborative art form, and that's one of the frustrating and fun things about it, but the important thing is to have people who, at the end of the day, know that all that wrestling around is a good thing, and at the end, like, you know, thank each other and congratulate each other. And that was certainly the case here.
When did you start thinking you were better than me?
You trying to talk me into taking a sucker's share on a score that I set up from the beginning.
This whole game is one big long shot, and if you don't have the discipline to stay away from the gambles, then one day you will go down. It's inevitable.
You want me to list the ways I can burn you? We either work this out right now, or I will take you down.
Bag of Vans, the name?
All right, I'll play in your damn golf match.
Will Smith, Matt Damon ja Charlize Theron Robert Redfordin elokuvassa Viheriön legenda. Ensi-ilta perjantaina Viasat Ticketillä. F.W. Murnau halusi tehdä kaikkien aikojen todentuntuisimman vampyyrielokuvan.
Meet Count Olaf.
Hän etsi käsiinsä näyttelijän.
I'd like some makeup. Well, you don't get him.
Joka ei vain esittänyt vampyyriä.
But you're not feeding. No, you're not drinking her blood.
Hän oli vampyyri.
What is the matter with you? Where did you find him, really?
Oscar-ehdokkaat John Malkovich.
I will finish my picture!
Ja Willem Dafoe.
This is hardly your picture any longer.
Shadow of the Vampire. Nyt Viasat Ticketillä.
This is a CBS News Extra.
Unmistakable evidence has established the fact that a series of offensive missile sites is now in preparation. The purpose of these bases can be none other than to provide a nuclear strike capability against the Western Hemisphere.
This is like the ultimate political thriller. It's a story of intense drama built around what I think is an extremely tense situation with the stakes so high that, you know, they can't be any higher.
What does it look like to you?
I don't know. What is it? On Sunday morning, one of our U-2s took these pictures. The Soviets are putting medium-range ballistic missiles into Cuba.
At this moment in the briefing, the president turned in his chair and he looked me straight in the eye and he said to me, "Are you sure about all this?" And I gulped and I said, "Mr. President, I am as sure of this as a photo interpreter can be sure of anything."
It was an awesome event in the history of humanity.
Anybody who was alive at that time sort of remembers it because, you know, there really was that feeling that maybe this is the end, maybe there will be no tomorrow.
For the first time in the history of man, we were capable of blowing one another off the face of the earth forever.
How close we came is closer than we would ever want to be. And I think the miracle of this story is that once the events that were in motion were playing out, I think it's extraordinary that it did not lead to conflict.
No, no, no! Now, there is more than one option here. And if one isn't occurring to us, it's because we haven't thought hard enough.
It shall be the policy of this nation to regard any nuclear missile launched from Cuba against any nation in the Western Hemisphere as an attack by the Soviet Union on the United States.
Do you, Ambassador Zorin, deny that the USSR has placed and is placing medium and intermediate range missiles and sites in Cuba? I'm prepared to wait for my answer until hell freezes over.
Katsot nyt TV1000, joka kuuluu Viasat kanavapakettiin.
Erland Josefsson on Ingmar Bergman.
David förekom ofta och gärna i vårt hem. Han var gift.
Liv Ullmanin elokuvassa.
Skulle vilja älska med mig.
Rakkauden ilo. Eron tuska.
Men varför kan du aldrig ta någonting bara för vad det är?
Christer Henriksson. Leena Endre. Thomas Hansson. Uskoton. Tänään 3 eri aikaan.
New York ja 4 sinkkunaista. Valmiita, innokkaita ja vapaita.
All the men we sleep with fulfill a certain fantasy. For me, it's a fireman with a nice big hose.
Get out of my here! It's a fucking fire!
Samantha learned there was quite a difference between a rescue fantasy and a rescue reality.
Sinkkuelämää torstaina TV1000.
I'm a little tired.
Get some rest.
A little wired.
Welcome to my world.
A little wired. A little tired.
Rentoudu ja anna muiden hoitaa raskaat hommat.
Drop the attitude.
Rhythms running over me, washing away my fears. The backbeat of humanity, free of my tears. There's something that connected us.
Ota rennosti. Action Night. Perjantaisin kello 22 TV1000 Cinemalla.
Don't do this to me.
This committee gave me a very specific and challenging task.
See you later.
On uskomatonta.
Hello, face.
Mitä kaikkea voi tehdä,
We got a problem.
jos kukaan ei näe? Mies ilman varjoa. Ensi-ilta lauantaina 3 eri aikaan.
The Soviets are putting medium-range ballistic missiles into Cuba.
And in the event of a launch, we'll have only 5 minutes warning.
In those 5 minutes, they could kill 80 million Americans.
The Soviet understands only one language, action, respects only one word, force.
Those damn Kennedys are going to destroy this country if we don't do something about this.
I'll be evacuated with the president.
And while you're under a rock somewhere, what am I supposed to do with your 5 children?
Sometimes there is only one right choice.
I am the Commander-in-Chief of the United States, and I say when we go to war.
Kevin Costner.